What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Tonight we gonna talk about Hassan Whiteside, a guy that's preferably frustrated with his playing time, and he wants more minutes. He wants more playing time. Honestly, there's nothing he can really do about it because they do run a lot of different lineups, have a lot of versatile multiple position players. And on top of that, Hassan Whiteside is more of a old school back to the basket, slow down the offense type of center. Not only that, he can't really stretch out the floor. He's not a good mid-range shooter still, not a knockdown three-point shooter either. And if you look at Towns, you look at Porzingis, you look at Giannis, you look at AD, they can put the ball down from the three-point line, pull up from the three-point line, put the ball down and dribble all the way to the basket to make plays for others or score the basketball or at least get to the free throw line. That's something that Hassan Whiteside hasn't been able to do. But, we're not going to talk about the bad about Hassan Whiteside. He's still a solid player, and he's only 28 years old. That's definitely a bright spot for any team looking for a center. He is under a max contract already with $96 million already guaranteed to him. So if you do trade for him, unlike DeAndre Jordan, you do get those extra basically 2 years under that contract. So even if you make that trade, you have security that he'll be there and he will not even be that old if you do make the trade and try to get him. So that is the benefit. And on top of that, you get a guy that can really cause havoc on the rebounding side of the basketball. He can crash the boards. He can be a dominant force inside. Even with the blocks, he still fouls. He still got a temper tantrum, but it's been more controlled, more smartly used. Obviously, we all get frustrated. We all get mad. We all get fed up. We human. And, somebody always trying to push your buttons, or you just gotta let the frustration out. We all do it. But he still is a quality player. He is a starting center in this league. Yusuf Nurkic is a guy that people said made a big difference on a team like the Portland Trailblazers. And they best two players are shooters and are scorers. And he has made a big difference defensively and giving them that inside presence with the screens and rolling to the rim and being able to hit floaters and get layups and dunks inside. You see a guy like him flourishing, and you got a guy similarly built like that in Hassan Whiteside. You wonder why he wouldn't be able to make a roster. Do I think he's going to get traded? I don't know. It could be just him being dealing with it over a long period of time and him being very frustrated with his role on the team. But at the end of the day, they still basically a lock right now to make the playoffs. We all predicted that they was gonna make it this year. Even me, I thought that he was gonna make the playoffs because how they ended last year and the fact that they do have they still have good quality players, and on top of that, they have a great coach, a champion coach and Eric Spoelstra and Goran Dragic is an all-star. Hassan Whiteside, that's a sad part about it because Hassan Whiteside was supposed to be this guy that's putting a lot of work in, this guy that's continually to evolve, add more to his game, get smarter, and then he got paid and he had a basically underwhelming season. Since then, he had a 17-point game season, and then he had a mediocre season this year. He still isn't one of the top rebounders in the league. He's still a double-digit scorer in the amount of minutes that he has been getting, but he hasn't really proved that he's worth that $96 million, this season. And if he's that frustrated and he goes somewhere else, it is good that they got him locked into that deal, but you will wonder if he'd play harder, if he'd add more to his game, what would he do, to stay happy while, you might want to trade the team that you get traded to. You still got to show them that you want to play, you want to be there, and maybe that will spark some more interest in him. Maybe that'll make him want to play harder. Whatever is going on in Miami, it doesn't really look good. I think he is one of the more tradable players in the league because he basically is coveted. The outdated centers are always gone, but when you can rebound and protect the rim like he can and cover a lot of ground in a little amount of time and set strings and you have that big body, teams gonna want him. So let's just go for a bunch of teams that's a contender that can probably use them. Look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. They use Tristan Thompson. They use Zizic. Hassan Whiteside will be definitely a better upgrade if they could get him. If they like DeAndre Jordan, you might like Hassan Whiteside even better because he's a better offensive player. DeAndre might be the better rebounder, but as when it comes to defensively and being able to post up and hit jumpers every blue moon and being a better free throw shooter, it is not too far off to see them interested in Hassan Whiteside if he does come up. Um, Obviously, another team that you can pretty much see him being on down the line if he gets traded will be, to me, uh, you got the Dallas Mavericks. I can see that because at the end of the day, you definitely don't want Nerlens Noel because they had took shots at him, say he's not a hard worker. He's a little bit of lazy. If they don't re-up him, which it don't look like they're gonna work out a deal, he's gonna be gone, and you're gonna have to basically replace him. They didn't give up much to get Nerlens Noel, but at the end of the day, I like Nerlens Noel. He has a lot of potential. He shows, a lot of flashes with the steals and being able to cover space and quickly with his length and size and athleticism. He's still not the rebounder that Hassan Whiteside is. He's not the defensive presence consistently like Hassan Whiteside. And you already know Mark Cuban, if he can pull off a deal. Remember, he tried to sign DeAndre Jordan in a similar role to go pair up with Dirk and Harrison Barnes. So you think about that and you wonder, at the end of the day, where other and you can go to Phoenix. I don't know if they like him going to Phoenix because they do have Bender, they do have Marquise Chris and Tyson Chandler almost done with his contract. But you look around the league and you can see some teams that has the big man now or they on the verge. Even if you go to the West, the Rockets got Capella, the Warriors they can upgrade that position. The Blazers got Nurkic, the Spurs got LaMarcus and Paul. Obviously, he'll be an upgrade there because you can keep Aldridge at the four, but he won't provide that floor spacing. But Greg Popovich will work it out anyway and find a way to make all his players great. You also have the Boston Celtics, a team that I always felt like Al Horford should never play the five, even though he's one of the most versatile players at that position, being able to set screens, be unselfish, keep the ball moving, knock down shots when he needs to, and to be able to post up every blue moon and get you buckets. But it also would be nice to have that defensive anchor that can heal one of their biggest problems to me, which is consistently rebounding the basketball. And that's one of the strong suits of Hassan Whiteside. Not only that, he still can protect that paint. And you're not going to ask him really to do that much because how great the offense already is. Well, it ain't great, but Brad Stevens know a way to pluck and put his team and his players in the right positions to succeed. Kyrie Irving averaging 49% from the field, and that's something that he struggled with in Cleveland. As LeBron came, he got better at it, and then his season wasn't really that good from the field in the beginning. Then he moved all the way up to 49% before he took the knee surgery. So if you like Greg Monroe, you will like Hassan Whiteside, and like I said, you can slide out Horford down to that fourth position. Remember, they use Aaron Baines. He's knocking down threes now. He's knocking down mid-range jumpers, but he's not the defender Hassan Whiteside is. And on top of that, you might not even have to give up much if you the Celtics because a lot of their players are role players. A lot of their players, they might not be able to re-sign anyway because they paid Kyrie, they paid Horford, they pay Gordon Hayward all that money. So they might be willing to offload to get that last piece that could potentially take them over the top. So I don't know if Hassan Whiteside actually going to get traded. I don't know if he actually want to be there. He's living in Miami. He got paid $96 million so far. He's under that contract for that $96 million. He has Miami. They're in the playoffs. They have a great coach, and they going in the right direction. They a couple pieces away from being a real contender in the East, but also he is a little outdated. He isn't as versatile, and he does have a temper problem. And on top of that, if he's not happy, he lets you know, so that can hurt players and hurt coaches. Not saying that they can't take it, but you do get a little bit of fed up that every time something don't go your way, you bark and complain about it. But that's just how the business goes, and that's just how life goes. Let me know what you guys think I know a lot of Miami Heat fans watch my videos because every time I post up a Miami Heat video, it always does decent or real good. So if you're a Miami Heat fan, would you like to see them go? Would you like to would a team trade a top 10 pick, a top 20 pick, 2 second rounds in the first round, throw in some salary dump contracts, some aspiring contracts, I should say, to get them to come over, throw in some draft picks, give them a aspiring, and they get the salary cap relief and some future assets to build in the future with the picks. Or you can just throw in a bunch of role players and help them deepen their bench and rotations, and never know how the pieces may fit with the pieces that get traded for him. So I think you can get a decent package for Whiteside. He's not a superstar. He's never been an all-star. He's not an all-NBA center either. So you don't have to give up much, but at the same time, this team has been solid. The Heat has been solid all season. And I think as you starting to see with Kelly Olynyk and the other players on this roster, even Bam, is a guy that's going to come up and want more minutes and want to prove himself. Get rid of Whiteside. You got Olynyk, you got Bam, and you got the other player. You never know. It's more realistic that he can get moved now. And like I said, he hasn't really lived up to that contract in Miami so far. So I can see a team that's on the borderline or trying to get there, trying to pick up Hassan Whiteside for some solid assets or aspiring contract, and maybe see if it can take them over the top. Even a team like Washington, Martian Gortat is not the rebounder or the defensive player that Hassan Whiteside is. Maybe they try to get rid of Kelly Oubre, a pick, and Martian Gortat, and try to bring him in there and try to up their defense, their rebounding, and have a better inside presence than Gortat. But then again, Gortat does know his role. He doesn't step on toes really until this year. We've seen with him and John Wall. Other than that, he's been a solid role player for this team, and he knows his role, and he doesn't really try to do more than that. That can be good or bad, but at the same time, you have a chance to upgrade and get better talent wise. You always got to try to take that risk, because if you can get into the playoffs like the Wizards are this year, you can always have that chance that things can go your way. Somebody can step up, somebody can take over, a role player can get hot, and next thing you know, you in the Eastern Conference or the NBA Finals having a chance, a legitimate, real chance, real shot at winning the championship. Let me know what you guys think. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm gone. Let me know what you guys think about Hassan Whiteside potentially being traded from the Miami Heat.